Hot Springs Village Inside Out is a closer look at the greatness of Hot Springs Village, Arkansas and the surrounding areas. People, places, experiences. Hot Springs Village is one of the most beautiful places on earth. Join me, Randy Cantrell, and my co-host Dennis Simpson as we engage in weekly conversations to explore Hot Springs Village Inside Out. Today's show is brought to you by Central Arkansas's favorite radio station, KVRE. Find them on the dial at 92.9 FM. Stream them live at kvre.com. Today's show is brought to you by RE/MAX of Hot Springs Village. The award-winning RE/MAX of Hot Springs Village is the largest real estate office inside the village with over 30 full-time agents and support staff. Visit them to learn more about this beautiful place to solve your real estate needs. Call them at 1-800-364-9007. Find them online at explorehsv.com. They are RE/MAX of Hot Springs Village at 1-800-364-9007 or online at explorehsv.com. HSV Inside Out is also brought to you by Ike Eisenhower State Farm. Ike and his award-winning team have been serving the insurance needs of folks all around Hot Springs Village since 1998. Ike has qualified for State Farm's President's Club, Chairman's Circle, and Hot Springs Village Insurance Agent of the Year. Call Ike Eisenhower State Farm today at 501-984-4100. That's 501-984-4100. Find them online at ikeeisenhower.net. Call them today for all your insurance needs because, like a good neighbor, Ike Eisenhower State Farm is there. And welcome to the Cedar Creek Trail. You'll see signs on trees for those of us that don't have a clue what kind of trees these are. Happy New Year, 2025. As you're watching this, it is New Year's Eve. True confession, as I'm recording this, Christmas Day, 2024. Because I'm traveling. I'm away from home today as you're watching this. It's a real foggy day, which is really kind of cool. Thought we'd take a walk. Let me show you some killer stuff. I love this kind of stuff. And all the stuff that grows on these trees. It's pretty stinking awesome. Now, for those of you that are not inside the village, Cedar Creek Trail is one of the more popular trails. We did a show about it. I'll put a link to that in the show notes so that you can go check that out if you choose to. You know, people enjoy waxing philosophic this time of year, but instead I thought, I'm going to take a walk. And I'm going to invite you to tag along. So let me show you some of the water here. This is pretty typical, by the way, for those of you that are not familiar with the village or even with this part of Arkansas this time of year. Really foggy today. It's about 50 degrees right now. So not bad. Now I confess, I wouldn't want this to be life every day. And it's not here. We are not in the Pacific Northwest. But I like it. We had rain yesterday on Christmas Eve. So today this is what everybody woke up to. This is what Santa had to endure. And look, we found something. I love these. I like these holes in trees. I started Hot Springs Village Inside Out months before we published our very first episode. The work probably began about 3 months before we ever even recorded the first show. I'm a sucker for moving water. You can probably hear it. So let me show it to you. And once we get to the dog days of summer, it ain't gonna look like that. But here in the wet season and after a rain yesterday, that's kind of sort of what you get. Here's what I'm looking at up ahead. This is the trail I'm going to be walking, and you're coming with me. We went live with show number 1,309 days ago. Yeah, I got a cheat sheet here in front of me. Seems like a long time. But really, it was just over 3.5 years ago. And unless you're a dog, 3.5 years ain't a long time. So if you were to judge us based on that time frame, 3.5 years, we're toddlers. We're a toddler. HSV Inside Out is 3.5 years old, a little over. So we're out of the crawling stage, that's for sure. We're walking upright. We're even able to run a little bit. We still stumble and fall, but we're working at it and getting better all the time. These are the kind of distractions that you get when you're trying to record like I'm doing. The sound of moving water is like a siren call from me. I'm just compelled to answer it. It's pretty great. It is pretty great. Lord willing, you will see greater growth, greater improvement, and greater changes that you have not seen yet. Just like if you have ever been in a house and you've ever had a 3.5-year-old, well, the growth curve is insane. I mean, they just get better and better and better. And that's the mandate for us with this program, to just get better and better and better. And now we hope you'll see more vast improvement more quickly than ever before. And it's up to us. Talent is the constraint, or lack of talent. More moving water. Gonna have to show it to you. So we've come this way, and now we get here, and this creek takes not a 90-degree turn, but takes a good 75-80-degree turn, and provokes this babble, or babbling. All right, let's keep walking. 1,309 days ago, the first episode went live. It was a big, monumental moment. I'm not going to tell you that the episode was all that great. In fact, I don't know that the first episodes were all that great until we finally had some guests on. And some of the guests that we had on were prompted by my curiosity about the village and the beginnings of the village. And so we worked hard from the get-go to try to get some of these people who clearly, like you and me, not getting any younger, and we wanted to capture and document what was it like. I mean, as you guys were building the village, what was the plan? What were y'all thinking? What was that work like? And you'll find some of those shows in the early stages. They're clearly the better shows. 1,309 days ago, personally, Rhonda and I, she's walking just up ahead of me, we weren't even thinking about buying anything here in the village. We assumed that one day we would, but we weren't thinking about it much at the time. Okay, more moving water distraction. It's just pretty stinking great. And more cool stuff growing on trees. In this case, a dead fallen tree. And in this case, I don't know, not even a tree, but looks like a fallen tree root. So we were not thinking, okay, I got to show you this. Let me back up. So this is the trail. Now look at the lime green on either side of the trail. That's the ground cover. This is the cool thing about the humidity and when it rains, and the fact that all this stuff just comes to life. I mean, tell me that's not cool. No, don't. Because it is. So 1,309 days ago, it really is not on our radar that we are going to buy a lot in here, that we're going to buy a house. That clearly is kind of the dream, but at this point, 1,309 days ago, it's just that. It's a dream, and it's only happening in our mind through vivid imagination. 1,309 days ago, we are a year away as a married couple. More moving water. 1,309 days ago, we are a year away from qualifying for Medicare, which, for those of you that have not reached that milestone yet, for most of us, is a pretty monumental thing. As we get older, healthcare is more and more important, and our need for decent insurance and the fact that we can now qualify for Medicare, which is kind of this catastrophic kind of thing, but now the fact that we can qualify for a supplemental plan or whatever, however you choose to roll, you can now qualify for some things when you hit the age 65 that you couldn't qualify for before. So that's kind of a big deal. And it was for us. And it probably is for you too. So we were a year away from that when we launched the podcast. Maybe even more importantly, we were 2.5 years away from reaching full retirement age. Full retirement age for Social Security enables a person here in America to qualify for the maximum amount that you can collect in Social Security. For us, given the year that we were born, which is what it's based on, that age is 66 and a half. And it would be 2.5 years after we started the podcast before we would qualify for full retirement age. Okay, we're on one of the bridges down Cedar Creek, and so this creek that we've been following all along, there's one side of the bridge. This is where we just came. And then here's the other side of the bridge. We intentionally came out here today because being Christmas Day that we're recording this, didn't think there'd be too many people out here. This is a popular trail. I wouldn't say it's crowded. I've never seen it crowded, but people do like to come and walk their dogs, and it's a popular trail. So at the time that we release episode 1, Rhonda and I are 2.5 years away from full retirement age. This too is a big deal. I don't know, I should have looked up what the average Social Security payment is. We are blessed in that the two of us combined well exceeds obviously what any single individual can get. Now, this is not, for those of you that are outside of America, this is not a government handout. When you get a job in America, you go into the Social Security system, you are issued a number, and every paycheck you get, there is money deducted from your paycheck every week or every time you get paid, and it goes into an account, if you please, your account. It doesn't really, but it's earmarked. So the government keeps track of how much you have paid in, and then based upon that, and there's all kinds of calculations that I won't get into, but based on those calculations, then it will be determined how much you will get at full retirement. As I said earlier, the date of your birth, the year of your birth, determines how old you will need to be to qualify for full retirement age. For us, 66 and a half. So like I said, 1,309 days ago, we were 2.5 years away from that magical date. Caveat and a side note, for those of you that have not yet approached that age, if you are so disposed, you can hold off claiming Social Security until you're 70. And you will see an 8% increase annually from the date of your full retirement age until the age of 70. So you could max out even beyond full retirement age. Here's the problem. We don't know how long we're going to live. If you knew the date of your death, you could better plan this stuff. But for Rhonda and I, full retirement age, we're fine. That's good. So we started collecting that when we were 66 and a half. And that was just over a year ago. Now here's something that you do see. It's less common. I've shown you the stuff growing on the trees, so this kind of a fungus thing, these are just really, really unique. And if I knew more about nature, I could tell you what you're looking at. All I know is it's cool and it's different, and we don't got that in Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas. 1,309 days ago, we were living exclusively in Dallas-Fort Worth. At that point, we were thinking about selling the house that we had lived in for over 20 years, but we weren't. It wasn't imminent. We weren't on the market yet. And we were thinking about it. And maybe even seriously, but not seriously enough that we're really moving toward that. That would happen later. A lot of changes. Awful lot of changes. Here we are today, splitting our time between Dallas-Fort Worth and the village, trying to have the best of both worlds, because the people that we love the most, no offense to those of you inside the village, but you're not family. Family's back in DFW, 5 grandkids. So the tribe is there. Yeah, but clearly the place is here. I'm going to start getting back close to some water here. Needless to say, a little over 3.5 years, 1,309 days ago, a lot was different. A lot was different. I know many, many things about the village that I did not know 1,309 days ago. As you look at some more water. No, and I will not be traversing that fallen log. People do. I've seen people do it. Nah, not happening. Not happening. You know, so much has changed, and being the older person that I am, I can't even remember everything that's changed. But we've learned an awful lot about the village that we did not know. Not a wild dog, just a regular dog. Told you, it's a popular trail. Popular trail for dog walkers. Pardon me, the noses rhyme. It's not cold, but winter habit. I've seen some changes in the village. When it comes to nature, the biggest change that we've seen was the tornado. We had a tornado last year, and the tornado, it did some damage. It did some damage. We are absolutely in the middle of a forest. You'll see this time of year through the village. You will see people coming out to decorate an evergreen tree. Kind of cool. And wait a minute. I hear running water. I told you, it's my siren call. It calls, I must answer. The village is full of these kinds of places. I mean, there's just no way to earmark them, catalog them. You just have to get out and snoop, investigate. The biggest nature change that I have seen in the village in the last 3.5 years, I would have to attribute to the tornado. Now, where our house is located, we weren't impacted, but there are parts of the village that were absolutely impacted. We took a trail It was one of the shows where I talked about creating your own trail, and it was one of our favorite places to go walk. It wasn't a trail, it was streets, very unoccupied, and logging trucks. I mean, some of the damage in that area, pretty crazy. Speaking of crazy, there's crazy. There is crazy. So roots of this big tree that are out exposed. And the tree seems to be doing fine. So we've had a number of logging enterprises come in here contracted by the Property Owners Association to try to help clean things up. But you're going to have things like fallen trees anytime that you're in a forest. So if you're not accustomed to that, you're going to see things like this. Now, clearly there was a tree that was cut, because you can see the stump over there. And a number of these trees, you'll notice, were cut. And 1,309 days ago, you didn't see as much of this. Now, none of this is concerning to me. And I will tell you, I don't think it should be concerning to you either. Because, well, nature just has a way of fixing this stuff. So with pine beetles and some of the other problems that come in the world of forestry, and the tornado, that's been a change in 1,309 days. But like I said, give it time. In the spring, the place will look very, very different. Much of this damage will frankly be camouflaged. It won't have gone away, not that quickly. But over time, as is said of mankind, from dust you are, and to dust you will return. And it's not just true of us. It's true of all these trees as well. I'm trying to think of some of the highlights of things that maybe I've learned that I could pass on to especially to those of you that are watching and listening that have never been here. I would just encourage you. We have a robust search feature at the website. So if you go to hsvinsideout.com, just click on that search. You can search by date. You can search by a keyword, title. I would encourage you to hop down that bunny trail and see if something interests you. And it's bound to. It's bound to. There have been all kinds of lessons learned, and we're still learning. Is this place perfect? It's not. It's not. But rather than focus on kind of some of the petty things, and even some of the things that aren't so petty, our choice and our decision, more moving water. You can hear it this time. Our choice is to just kind of shine a bright light on this place, share with you the beauty, the serenity, the peace, the security. And the one or two ninnies who take offense to the fact that I refer to this place as kind of a retirement community. It was established to be that. It still is that. It's not exclusive. It's not a closed system in that, well, if you're under 55, you can't come here. So people want to quibble with the technicalities of a retirement community. Well, I'm not being so technical about it. You will find largely
the population here to likely be closer to your age. If you're coming to retirement age, or if you're already there, you will likely find more people here in your demographic than not. Are there plenty of younger people here? There are. Last count, there were close to 1,000 kids who were riding school buses to area schools. It's great. I love that part about it. But make no mistake, the place is appealing to those of us that are a little older in life, ready for what the village provides: some peace, some quiet, some tranquility. However much activity you want to engage in, go for it. You want to play golf every day that you possibly can, you have found the place. You want to get out on a lake every day that you can, you have found the place. You like big trees, you like these kinds of walks, you like creeks like this, you found the place. I've said before in other videos, there are people that their ideal place is a beach. Not your place. Not your place. Ideal place is someplace like Santa Fe, New Mexico. Mountainous, but kind of desert. Not your place. But for those of us that love it, it's pretty stinking ideal. And why wouldn't it be? So let's give you a bird's eye view. And once again, let me tell you, Happy New Year, 2025. And Lord willing, 2025 will be our best year ever. Not just for us at Hot Springs Village Inside Out, but for you too, and your family. And for me, for my family.
Thanks for watching and listening to Hot Springs Village Inside Out, a weekly podcast starring Hot Springs Village, Arkansas. Visit the website at hotspringsvillageinsideout.com.